16 degrees last night. It won't start. The Anker 767 has been sitting out in the truck in the cold. It's not supposed to charge below freezing. Well, it was my first night in the camper. It got down to about 16 degrees last night. Tomorrow I'll be able to go grocery shopping, things like that. But I just got in here about an hour ago. I'm starving. Not the greatest, but some microwave food. Made some tea. I got my sleeping bag up here. I only have my one pan, except I forgot a spatula, so there's not much you can do with it. I had to play with the battery system for a little while. I had to play with the Truma system. I had to figure out how to crank the heat up. I'm liking it. I'm learning everything right now. For now, it's very comfortable, very quiet. The heat works great, which is a huge bonus. It's gonna be 16 degrees tonight, and it's cooling down quickly. It's actually snowing right now. I'm completely exhausted, and I need to get some sleep. I stayed plenty warm. I gotta say, I love the Truma heat. It's hot air, it's very quiet, but it warms up quickly. Even on like 1,000 watts or 2,000 watts, it heats up, it blows around. You can set it for like a low or high fan speed, and it dries the air out a little bit, so there's not as much condensation inside. In fact, there's almost no condensation except for right on the window frame. There's just a tiny bit. It's extremely quiet, and when you're inside, you're not really aware of your surroundings. You can't hear the wind or the road noise or anything like that. But this is the ambient sound. There's a highway right there, and I couldn't hear a thing inside the camper. I'm trying to keep everything nice and clean in there, and I need to stop at Walmart or something so I can get a floor mat just so I have a place to dry my boots when I come in. I'm not a big fan of 25 degrees and windy. It's a pretty raw day. It's 33% humidity and 74.3 degrees. And then I have this set for 76. So I'm gonna drop it down to 74. Right now I'm hooked up to electricity. So I'm using, this is on electric 2, which means it's the, I think, an 1800 watt heating element, and it's actually excellent. I think this is really good. And then this, you have your high and eco. Eco is nearly silent. You can hear it a little bit. High, it puts out more air, and you can hear it a little bit more, but I mean, it's on right now. You can't really, you can feel it, but you can't really hear it. In fact, the loudest thing right now is this Vitrifrigo fridge, which you can tell is rather sparse. I don't have much in there. It sips power. You got the GX. You got your menu, you got all your settings. There's a lot of marine inspired things going on in the Kingstar. We have the marine skylight. We have the marine microwave. I believe this is possibly marine rated 2. I'll have to check. So it's very reminiscent of that. I'd like to take a peek up on the roof and check out my new skylight. This is marine grade. I don't know the brand, but it's very nice. It's heavy. Solar panels. It's snowing, it's cold. Windy. Cold. It's cold, Michigan. Well, that works nicely. Of course, it has the, I'm not going to use it, but has the screen. And then the, I don't know what you call it, but the blackout window. It's pretty nice. All right, so I'm back in the camper, and I let the temperature drop down to just about 60 degrees. Current time is 4:52, and I want to see how quickly I can reheat the camper up to, like, let's say from 60, I'm gonna do 75. You have gas, which is just propane. you have propane and I think one heating element, and then mix 2 is propane with probably the second element or maybe the higher wattage element, and then you have just the heating element and then just 2 heating elements. I believe that they're 800 watts each. For this test, I'm going to do 75, and I'm going to go to here. I think I want to try mix 2. I want to see how quickly it will reheat. It's 4:53. I'll check back with you when it starts to get a little bit closer to that 75-degree set mark. Right now, it's 59.7. I'm going to switch it over to battery, which is going to force it to run at like a 1500 watt load. I'm curious to see how all of these different measurements work and how hot things get. So all I'm going to do is I get a 30 amp breaker. I'm going to shut that off. And now you should see, yep, there it goes. So now we're just, AC load is on the batteries. Oops. And we're drawing 147 amps from the batteries. I recharged them last night, and I've been messing around with them, so they're down to 88%. I'm gonna drain it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna crank up the charger and see how that handles. All right, so it's 5:25, and it's up to 65.8. It's freezing out. Feels like it's probably about maybe 15 now. Cold, 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 cold. All right, I'm back from my walk. It is 6:05 and we're up to 68.3 degrees. So it's coming up quite quickly. I'm currently drawing 149 amps. 144 watts is being used as DC power, so like the refrigerator and other electrical stuff in here. And then it's inverting and it's running 1556 watts. And that's mostly the heater. Of course, there's a little bit of draw from here. So it's like just about 1600 watts of electric heat, and then it blows it out as hot air. There's a bunch of vents, but it's working pretty well, nice and warm. When it detects the electricity coming in from shore power, it should kick on. So there we go. So then it transfers the load to shore power. So it's still saying that there's an AC load, which there is because all the power passes through the inverter, but it's in like bypass mode now. So it's pulling in 2600 watts because I'm also starting to charge the batteries at 65 amps. So the nice thing is I have a 3600 watt limit on the shore power because it's a 30 amp. I would never run it that hard. But in here I can set how many amps I want to allow it to use. So I told it to use 25. So it's going to run whatever loads I need to, and then the rest of it gets dedicated to charging. So if I were to turn on something else like the microwave and I drew more power, it would trim the charging down or shut it off. So it's a pretty smart system. This is the Serbo GX, which is the computer that runs the Victron system. And then this is the control panel for that. All right, so then this is a 30-gallon water tank, the pump, more power system, bus bar. This is the main power disconnect for the dual DC-DC chargers. And then this is the Victron Multiplus 3000. And then this is also a Victron inverter. It is the Phoenix 1200. It's a 1200 watt inverter that's dedicated to the office. So in the event that like this were to trip out because we ran too many appliances, I don't have to worry about my computer stuff getting shut off, which I don't know, it's wired up here somewhere. I gotta figure it out. All right, so it's Monday and I'm getting ready to roll out. I had a couple nights in here, but of course I had busy days, so I didn't get to spend as much time in here as I wanted, so I'll need a little bit more time to get used to it, but it was like 16 degrees last night and I stayed toasty warm in here. I have to say it's very, very quiet in here. I do hear the fridge, which is a good sign, but I just mean you're not hearing the trees rustling, you're not hearing cars going by. The wood and the foam construction, I think they do a great job of blocking out outside noise. It's also been windy off and on, and it stayed very comfortable and not noisy at all. So the Truma is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love the flexibility of the propane and electric. I'm actually going to experiment with running it, like right now it's running off of the batteries. So I have it on a low, the electric one right here, which is gonna be that 800 watt heating element. I'm drawing off the batteries, but then I'm gonna be driving and I'm gonna turn the DC-DC chargers on, which is gonna give me, let's see, so it's pulling 72 amps right now. It's gonna give me 60 amps, which means I'm only gonna be really drawing about 12 amps to run the heat. The rest of it's gonna be coming from the truck. I charged up the batteries last night, obviously. So for the next like probably 5 or 7 or 8 hours that I drive, I shouldn't be using any propane at all. It will be using the batteries, but I don't need the batteries as much as I need the propane for the next few days. So my goal is to, of course, to just play with it. I'm gonna drive probably 500 miles south, maybe not as much today because I'm getting a late start and I gotta get a couple gifts and things like that before I leave. So today's gonna be kind of a short travel day. But over the next few days as I travel, I wanna really try using the DC chargers to see if I can power the heater at least a little bit. And I'll turn the heat way down. I'll turn it down to like 60 degrees. I can crank it up when I get to my Walmart or Cracker Barrel or wherever I'm going. And then when I get to my location, I'm gonna put it onto propane and just crank the heat up, get it warm in here again. But it's nice to be able to maintain the temperature while I'm driving without actually sucking up all the propane. The other thing I'm looking forward to is with this nice big DC fridge, I don't have to worry about the flame blowing out on the fridge, which used to happen in our Cirrus all the time. Every time we were on the highway, we'd get a little crosswind and the fridge would blow out. So I'm gonna finish getting ready, and I wish I had more time up here, but Christmas is coming and I gotta get back to Sasha and I need to get back to Dinosaur Valley RV Park where I actually have some work to do. So I need to finish packing up, getting dressed and getting into the truck, warming it up because it's covered in snow and ice. So that is my next step. I do love the remote start. Let me fire it up. All right, I don't know why, but the remote start did not work, so let me do it manually. The engine coolant is 14 degrees. See, the truck won't start. This is a first. 11 volts. Too many dings, too much beeping. 11 volts. It won't start. That is a first. I think maybe my batteries are no good. Well, I either have to call AAA or I need to get one of the Kingstar guys to come down and give me a jump because this is new. I'm ready to go. This is disappointing. But batteries are 4 years old, so they very well could just be not in good shape for such cold weather. It's, 14 degrees. I do have a dead battery. Not dead. It keeps dropping down to like 10 volts, so it's not quite enough to start. Marcus is going to send one of the guys from the shop, because today's Monday, so they're open. He's going to send someone from the shop down to give me a jump start. That is really nice because that's much faster than waiting for AAA. I'd probably be here for like 3 hours waiting for AAA. So I should be able to get this thing started up and hit the road shortly. I'm gonna scrape some ice off. It got pretty icy with the melting off of the camper. Should have put my windshield wipers up. Live and learn. All right, so I'm back in here. Turn the heat way down. Turn it down to like 55. I'm gonna go over here and just turn it to gas. That way I'm not gonna use any power. Down to 96% on the batteries. So let me make sure. So gas, yep, good to go, 55. I'm gonna go pop the hood and wait for Kingstar to come jump me. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time and help.
Yep, no problem. Safe travel.
Thank you, Cal. I appreciate it. All right, guys, we got the truck started. It took two trucks. It took two trucks, two sets of jumper cables. It worked. The truck's running. It's warming up right now. However, I lost this, the center display here. It just, I don't know. I don't know when it died, but it died while we were getting it started because it was working earlier and now it's dead. I'm a little disappointed in that. I'm hoping that it's just a case of like resetting the truck or something, but I can't shut the truck off right now until the battery gets a chance to recharge fully. So I'm gonna be leaving the truck running for quite a while. It's about 25 degrees out right now and it was about 12 degrees last night. The Anker 767 has been sitting out in the truck in the cold. I had this unplugged, but I just plugged it back in because I wanted to see if it would charge. It's not supposed to charge below freezing, and it doesn't. This comes on right here. You can see this little snowflake icon, and that tells you that it's not charging because it's too cold. Now, after a few hours of driving, this whole unit should warm back up with the heat running, and then it should start charging again. It's nice to know that they have that integrated and it works properly, so you don't have to worry about whether or not you're damaging your battery cells. They've already taken care of that with their built-in battery management system. There we go. Let's get that ice off. Getting a very late start today. Onward. In the next episode, I visit a few shops in the downtown area of Houghton, Michigan to get some gifts and some pasties for my trip home. Krupp's Mini Mart. I take a quick drive through a closed park with plenty of snow. Very cold and snowy. It's 8 degrees this morning and it's projected to go down to I think 0 or like -4 by 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. And I spend my first night at a Walmart. The temperature drops quickly, and there's a blizzard headed my way. Because all of the forecasts are saying that there's going to be blizzard conditions today, right where I'm at, so I need to get south. It's getting nasty out. I spend a second night at another Walmart, where I end up getting stranded for a day. I am apparently going to camp at Walmart for the day and ride out this blizzard. It is -4 right now. It's getting blizzardy. I thought I was going to make it out of here before it hit, but I guess not. Ay, ay, ay.